After a certain level, your skills as a composer don't matter. Once you have reached the threshold of good enough, it doesn't matter how technically skilled you get or technically savvy. If you are a dick, no one wants to work with you. Soft skills you need as a composer. All right? Directors want to know the person writing their music. There's a level of comfort from knowing that you're friends with the person on this project and that you can trust them and that they have done good by you. After a certain level, your skills as a composer don't matter. Once you have reached the threshold of good enough, and by good enough, I mean that the director just likes your music. That's all it means. Good enough is that the director likes your music. Once you've reached that point, it doesn't matter how technically skilled you get or technically savvy. If you are a dick, no one wants to work with you. All right? It doesn't matter how talented you are. Someone will take their little cousin who works with an iPad over a Berkeley graduate if that Berkeley graduate is a dick. All right? They don't want to work with someone who's difficult to work with. So soft skills that you need as a composer are working well under pressure. All right? Communicating from a story lens, not music. And, of course, a big one that I'm a proponent of, arguing. All right? Working well under pressure, this means getting the deadlines, making sure that you're working, that you don't get angry, you don't blow your gasket, you don't give up, and that you're able to still deliver and perform. All right? That's pretty typical. Communicating from a story lens. All right? This is very important. Directors, playwrights, all kinds of people that I work with, very few of them speak from a music language. Very few of them. The very few times that I've met a director who's had experience with music, they didn't have nearly enough. And so, for example, one director, incredibly talented, loved working with her, told me that she wanted this theme that I had written to be sped up. She said she needed the tempo faster. And I was like, all right, I'll increase the tempo a little bit. She's like, faster. I need it faster tempo. And eventually I'm like, okay, no, I'm doubling the tempo at this point. The theme is unrecognizable and it's half the length. I can't work with that. And so from a story lens, I understood that she wasn't looking for the tempo. She was looking for energy. She wanted more energy in the music. So I took it back to the original tempo. I added a couple ostinati and added a couple new instruments and boom, suddenly she's like, perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. Thank you. But a lot of the stuff you have to be able to understand communicating from a storytelling lens and not just music and understanding what's necessary. Now, so I'm a big proponent that composers need to study storytelling. So if you are looking for a couple good resources, I recommend the YouTube channel, Hello Future Me, which chances are many of you know this channel, right? He's got millions of subscribers. Amazing at storytelling, world building, all that kind of stuff. And then The Anatomy of Story. So much of my approach to composing is informed by this book. Look at that. Super cheap book. Amazing book. My entire spotting process was inspired by this book. The Anatomy of Story. It'll break down so much about what makes good stories, how they're structured, how the characters are function, and all that cool stuff. A lot of it comes from this book. I recommend checking it out or something else like it. And then probably the most useful thing I can offer right now, which I apologize, I wish I could get more specific into this. It's just not something I'm used to teaching. Because, like I said, a lot of my stuff has been luck. I'm trying to get better at the business side of things. But arguing, this is the big one that I can offer. And this is something I've seen on my Discord channel. This is something I've seen on Instagram and YouTube comments so much. So if you haven't been paying attention, boom, focus right here. Listen, this is the most important lesson I'm about to share for this question. Arguing. It is okay to argue. All right? That's a given. I have not had a single project where I have not gotten into heated arguments with my collaborators. This is an art form. People, if you are not getting passionate about your art, then you're probably not really invested. It's expected that you're going to argue. The number of times I have been on the phone for like 3 hours with a playwright, arguing about the use of lyrics or arguing about changing a scene. It's okay. It's expected. But never under any circumstances make the argument about the person. This is the mistake I see so often. This is the fastest way to lose your job. This is the fastest way to get blacklisted and have everybody say, oh no, I don't like working with that person. Don't hire that person. So, for example, I got in an argument with a very dear friend about the lyrics for a song in a soundtrack I did recently. And we were going back and forth. The song was still in progress. We were talking about like what lyrics to use. He'd done a couple different versions of it. And we got into argument, and we were arguing back and forth about which verse we wanted to use, what order were the verses going to go in, which version of the lyrics were better. And it was always about the lyrics, and it was always about the story. I would talk about how I liked this version of his lyrics because I thought it better fit the story. And I had written music for this set of lyrics and not the new one because I liked these lyrics better. So the arguments are fine, all right? At no point did I ever say, well, you're just being unreasonable. You don't like these because this, or you don't want this because that. No. The moment you put that word in there, you have made it personal. The argument can never be about the person. Keep it on topic. It's never about their opinion. It's never about their personality. It's never about their perspective. It's never about none of that. Nothing about them. It's always about the lyrics. It's always about the story. I think this works well for this. So many times I have seen someone say, well, you just don't like this because like you're a boomer, or you're not like, you don't like it because you hate innovation or things like that. Or you're scared of this. So like, never make it about the person. This is so crucial. In a job where you're going to meet a lot of very difficult personalities, in a job where they will most likely, very frequently, make the argument about you, the composer. You can never flip it around. All right, you need to be the higher person. You need to make sure never make it the argument about them. Keep on topic. Again, these are soft skills that you need as a composer to help keep finding jobs. And I think this is the most important one, being able to keep it on topic. So that was a huge old tangent.